We've seen a couple of entrepreneurs already today who are running smaller businesses, growing businesses, but our next speaker is actually somebody with quite a lot of experience running big companies, especially companies who are in the public face, let's say. And as we've learned from Bart de Pauw this morning already, if you're a public figure or running a public company, being in the public eye also means the possibility of being scorned for every single misstep that you or your company make, and that's a powerful environment to be in and can create a lot of tension, I'm sure. So I'm looking forward to hearing Jannie's story about how to deal with that type of environment and to keep being happy at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the invitation, of course. I must say I mounted the Mont Ventoux, Thomas, I think 2 years ago. It took me 6 or 7 minutes more than you, which is in a competitive environment, of course, a huge failure. I will try to do better next time. If you want to start a business, that's where you need to find your space. There isn't a lot of space. That's where you need to squeeze in. That's not so easy. Luckily, there are guidelines. There are handbooks. Everything is clear. There's a kind of procedure to make sure that whatever you want to start up, it will be a success. Make a business plan. Make sure you know your customers. Make sure you are prepared. Make sure you have a nice accountant. Make sure that, there is a handbook. But really, in fact, you have doubts each time again. From time to time, you don't have a lot of options. From time to time, you have too many options. From time to time, the dice have been cast. You are confronted with a bureaucracy. You are confronted with competitors. You are confronted with things you don't see clear, even having your handbook with you and your guidelines with you. And from time to time, when you talk about analyze your market, probably the most expensive and the most intensive way of analyzing the market, that would be the elections for the president in the US. And these are what you see is what the New York Times is publishing. And so they have been looking at the market, because finally it's a market. And what are the trends? And how do we look at the trends? And we have an incredible professional thing to monitor this. And what you see is that on the day of the elections, at 9 p.m., suddenly their very professional way of looking at the market shows a totally different thing. That's the value from time to time of big data and analyzing the market. A few days ago, I was in Singapore, which is a well-organized country. And at the traffic lights, there was a very nice guideline. And it said, okay, if you see the little red man, you don't cross. If you see the little green man, you cross. If the little green man is flashing, don't start to cross, because it takes you about 15 seconds to cross the road. And so when you push the button, suddenly you see at the other side, you have 2 seconds left to cross the road. Which is a very strange thing, because that's a very well-organized country with a very organized guideline, at one side. And if you follow the guideline, you never cross that road. And if you want to cross that road, you need to break the rules. People who are thinking in terms of if this, then that, those people are worried people. There isn't such a thing to capture in a complex world everything in terms of if this, then that. And we all have, certainly in bigger companies, we all have risk management. No, we have no risk management. Huh? We all have our SAP. We are all making sure that there are procedures, that there is a documented compliance management, and it's all captured in if this, then that. But that is, in a complex world, quite impossible. We are at ING, so BNP Paribas is for the moment in the rest of Europe having this campaign. And this campaign says, okay, by the time you master the game, the rules have changed. And they are right. Always expect the unexpected. You can't foresee things each time again. Imagine that your company, your startup, is in the beggar world, here in Brussels, and at the traffic lights you organize begging. And you are well organized, you have been looking at your market, you have the best employees because they all lack a leg or an arm or an eye, and you are sure to win this market. You have invested a lot of money to make sure that you have the best employees. You have the best business plan. And then suddenly, the smart-looking guys and the smart-looking girls juggling with their balls appear at the crossroads. And then you think, shit, if I would have known that. Or imagine you're a photographer, very conservative, somewhere in the 1980s, in a small village like Oudelem, close to Bruges, and you invest a lot of money in your shop, and you have a nice business plan, you have a very nice network, and you will go taking pictures at funerals and marriages and stuff like that. And you will do that very professionally, you will work hard, and you are well prepared. And then suddenly it's 1990, and Fuji invents the digital camera. And it means that the whole population of Oudelem suddenly is a professional photographer. It happens. Coincidence can be magical, both ways. You know, I've been responsible for the state budget, for the public debt. I've been responsible for the public debt between 1992 and 2005. That's 12 years. Those 12 years are the only 12 years in the existing of the country that public debt dropped. 12 years in a row. I'm sure you agree that's due to my strategic vision, that's due to my intelligence, that's due to my hard work. I've been polite. I didn't mention the numbers in 2014 and 2015. maybe it's also possible that there was a bit of coincidence and a bit of good luck and a bit of just things that went right. We are doing a kind of crowdsourcing. We launched, let's say, 10 weeks ago. At the National Lottery, we own a cycling team, a World Tour cycling team. We are very proud of it. And we are doing some crowdsourcing. And then suddenly, one thinks, probably from the inside, let's go to a journalist. Because I don't like cycling. And let's make sure this won't pass, because I just don't like it. I have an article in the press. Can you manage that? Can you foresee that? Can you make sure that if this, then that? I don't think so. Even in your personal life, the biggest decisions from time to time make a toss. It doesn't matter. You can doubt a long time. You can think in terms of causal things, if something happens, maybe then those are my options. Let's make sure what my options are. Let's give them points. Let's make a SWOT analysis. Let's make, from time to time, just toss. It will make you happy. Create a system, but while there, break the rules. That's like the traffic lights in Singapore. If you want to cross the roads, break the rules. Let's be serious. From time to time, we envy people like Uber. We envy the B&B evolution. That's well done. That's entrepreneurship from the best side. But those, one way or another, they are illegal. The guys winning the poker game are the guys with the gun. Ode to the attempt. I think from time to time, and of course it's hard work, and of course you need to invest a lot of time, you need to invest a lot of energy, and of course you need to be well prepared, and of course you need to consider, and of course you make your analysis, and of course you make your market study. But let's be honest, from time to time, a success is just a coincidence. It's a hazard. It has been a chance. And the moment we accept it, it's a lot easier to accept that you have a failure, because it doesn't mean that you were stupid, or it doesn't mean that you were lazy, and it doesn't mean that you weren't well prepared. Just shit happened. It happens. The moment we say to our cycling team, okay, listen guys, you have this tendency, because they give a kind of points in the international ranking. Don't go for 5th or 6th or 7th place. Don't do that. Go for the victory. And if you fail, we won't use it against you. Really not. Just go for the winning. And strangely enough, the year after, they have 40 victories. We at the National Lottery, we have a business, we have a product that's sports betting. And our best clients are the well-prepared clients. Those are the clients, the consumers, the players, who think, I know this team, I know their coach, I know the statistics, I have inside information, I know the game, I have been analyzing this. Those customers, they will lose against the National Lottery and our product. We will get their money. Is there something like, at an individual level, I do an attempt, I fail, I learn, and so I excel, and I become better each time again. And ultimately, I'm like the Pope. I can't fail anymore because, I've had that many failures, that many learnings. I've been excelling that many times. I'm like the Pope, can't fail again. I don't know. We don't need to look at this at an individual level. I don't think so. Because I'm sure you can learn from one success to another. I'm sure from time to time you learn from a failure and still you make the same mistake. I'm sure that from time to time you only know success. It happens too. Probably also a coincidence. But I don't think there is something like, I've tried, I failed, I've learned, and next time I will do better. I don't think so. Arriving at the railways, in the meanwhile, about 12 years ago, I thought this company lacks information at management level. Let's introduce an SAP, or something similar, but it was SAP. This is something I probably wouldn't do again. But on the other hand, yeah, maybe I would. Entering the lotteries, I signed the biggest contract the National Lottery signed in its history. It was a huge investment, a private network towards 5,500 points of sales, very secured, dedicated terminals. And I thought, this isn't feeling right. But then again, the company has been preparing this for let's say 6-7 years. I probably wouldn't sign this contract again. But on the other hand, yeah, maybe I would. Because it's each time again, of course, about on one hand and on the other hand. Would I be, during 12 years, being the chief of staff for 3 different ministers in 4 different governments, so that for the rest of my career, journalists can say, okay, this is Jannie Haek, the ex-chief of staff of Johan van der Lotte. No, I wouldn't. But on the other hand, yes, maybe I would. Things are incredibly complex. And do you learn from your mistakes? Won't you make the same mistakes again? Or do you learn from your successes? On an individual level, it's quite difficult. Play and try. A lot of the remarkable successes were a coincidence, were a hazard. they were by chance. The short messaging services, no one could foresee that suddenly it would become trendy and real hype, and more important than vocal transmission. Not even BlackBerry. Post-it made bad glue, and suddenly there was Post-it. And Viagra, that was something, this wasn't a good medicine, but there was a side effect. Okay, yeah, sure, yeah, okay. Coincidence and success. I don't know if you are familiar with the Darwin Finch, but if we are talking about a competitive market, from time to time we make a reference to the survival of the fittest. And a good example of the survival of the fittest, that's the Darwin Finch. Let's be serious. There wasn't any finch, not one, that voluntarily was born different from the others. There wasn't one finch who had a plan. There wasn't one finch who even was conscious of the fact that there was a problem. There wasn't one finch thought that he needed to adapt. It was a hazard. A lot of finches, born differently, died. They failed. That was a hazard. One finch, and that was a hazard too, was really the best fitted one. Bigger companies like railways or the National Lottery. And I think we all know what's happening at Google and Facebook and stuff like that. Of course, those bigger companies aren't adapted to entrepreneurship. They have rules, they have regulations, they have risk management, they have an SAP. And the human brain, and that's also for a corporate, is made, let's not take a risk. Let's always make sure. Of course, if you don't take a risk, I'm sure it has been done before. And so bigger companies ought to create possibilities for the smaller ones. And not only because it's good PR, no, because it's in their benchmark, without a doubt, just simply a good thing. So the message I wanted to give today is, do I believe that on an individual basis, there is something like, I fail, I learn, and I excel? I don't think so. Is success due to hard work, good preparation, knowing what you are doing, intelligence? Yes, sure. But there's a lot of chance involved. And it's probably a good thing if from time to time we can admit that it is so. And then it will be a lot easier to admit that if you fail, it isn't due to the fact that you are stupid. It isn't due to the fact that you are lazy. It is due to the fact that you didn't understand the if this, then that. From time to time, it was just a coincidence. Something happened you could not foresee. But that means that, as the Finches, we need to create an ecosystem where people continue to try. Ode to the attempt. Ode to be different. Ode to break the rules. Sure. And this ecosystem will make sure that this country continues in a way that it's innovative, in a way that it finds really its way. Thank you very much.